Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is doing well. I myself am just getting over this like sickness that would not let go of me. So my voice will probably break. We're gonna have to deal with it. So I put up a poll on my community tab to see what you guys wanted to see, if it was the worst of 2018 product wise or if you wanted to see a updated palette collection. It was pretty neck and neck up until like the last moment, and then worst of 2018 really took it over. So I'm going to go through all of the products I tried in 2018 that I really didn't like. There's actually more on here than I thought there was gonna be, so I was kind of surprised about that. And I will actually put up the updated palette collection as well. I will probably film that later today. So before we jump into the worst of 2018, I did want to just take 1 second and have a quick chat about my t-shirt actually. So this is from a company called Royer Co. And they create construction boots, and they are a Canadian company. So I don't know who knows this about me or who doesn't, and who is new and who is not. If you are new, please stay, hang out. We love new people. But we actually own a construction company. My husband and my brother actually are partners in a construction company just outside Toronto in Ontario. And Royer is a construction boot company who does steel-toed boots, and they've actually partnered with a friend of ours, Kate Campbell, to create construction boots for women, because this is actually something in that industry that doesn't really exist. So, and for anybody that doesn't want to listen to this little rant, feel free to go to the timestamp I will leave right here, and then you can get into the worst products right away. So Kate Campbell is from Kate Builds on Instagram. She is a woman in the trades, and she very much promotes having women in the trades, because when she was training she did not have any female mentors to kind of turn to, and it was very difficult for her to find a man that would take the time to teach her, basically. Obviously that's been all set aside. She is now very successful in the trades, and she has now created what she is calling, Build Women Up. So if you wanted to take a look at her Instagram down below, she's a really wonderful person to follow. She is also a Canadian from this area. She has done some work on HGTV, so if this is the kind of thing that you're into, she has a really great message. And we ourselves actually employ a woman, also funny enough, named Kate, in our company, and she is wonderful and probably one of the hardest workers that I have ever seen myself. So Royer and Kate Campbell have come together to create those boots to actually make sure that women in the trades have the tools they need to be able to be successful in what they're trying to do. So my main message here is really just, it doesn't matter what you do for a living, whether it's an office job, if it's a service job, if it's a trades job. It's not only outer beauty that counts, it's inner beauty as well, and making sure as a woman you can do anything that you want to do. So don't forget to check out the hashtag Build Women Up, and check out Kate Campbell at Kate Builds, and see what she's got for you. Okay, let's get into the worst products of 2018. So we are going to start off with skin, and if you have been here at all this year, I'm sure you know that this is what is totally going to be coming up. This is the Lace Appeal Mask from Dermovia. This has been in a fails video already, and I will insert pictures here. This is a mask you put on, and you put a lace face mask over it. You can see it on the back here, and then the lace actually acts as the tool to pull the peel off mask off of your face. When I did this, and I'm going to throw it out there, I don't have sensitive skin. It made my skin break out so badly. All through here was all texture. I'll insert the pictures again. It was horrific. This came in BoxyCharm. If you have this and you haven't tried it yet, please don't. Just save yourself. It was so painful. Even the model, when they were actually doing the advertisement, the model's eyes were watering. And if you can't put out an ad that doesn't look like you're causing your model physical pain using your product, maybe don't put out that product. That was my only skincare item this year that I really, really hated and was really horrible. Moving on to some complexion products is actually both of the Tarte Shape Tape yeah, Shape Tape Matte Foundation, and this is the Hydrating Foundation. So I had my mom pick this up for me when she was in the States. This is the matte one. I didn't actually realize that there was two finishes at the time. I don't know where the hell I was, especially after all of the Shape Tape nonsense that went on with the shade ranges, which I obviously agree, like, come on, people. There are more than just white people in this world. Like, let's be real here. But then, so she bought me the matte and it was really, really dry, and I was like, oh shit, that's really dry. Normally that doesn't bother me because my skin is kind of combination. It's pretty easy to deal with. So I actually went and got the moisturizing dewy one, the hydrating foundation, and it's just as bad. I'm so sad. So I have the matte one in the shade light, medium, neutral, and I have the hydrating one in light, medium, honey. I'm not going to get rid of them, but they're both just so drying. I will probably only ever use these like in the absolute dead of summer when I'm sweating my balls off all the time, just to use them up, because I did obviously pay for them and I don't want to waste them, and I don't hate them enough that I can't make them work. I was just really disappointed. I expected the coverage to be incredible. I expected them to be really, really good. When I went and read the reviews on them, most of the negative reviews were only about the shade range. It wasn't actually about the product, so I was just kind of like, I didn't see these coming. Keeping with the complexion and face type products, this is another product that came from BoxyCharm. This is the Cover FX Illuminating Setting Spray. And if you want a body mist to give you a little bit of a glow, it's wonderful. That is not its intended purpose. It is for your face. However, when you actually use this, unless you shake it up in a paint shaker for one whole day, I tried it. If you spray this on your face, it actually leaves like little dots on your face. It looks like you've sprayed a galaxy onto your face, and I'm just really not into that. It was a full-size Cover FX product though, so like I was happy to get it and I was excited to get it, and I will use it on vacations and in the summer as a body mist, because it is a nice mist. It truly is. But even, I don't know if it will pick up on camera, but there's a big dot there, a big dot there. Like, it just ends up looking kind of odd. Yeah, you can't really see it on the camera. For intended purpose of going on your face, definitely not for me. I was really disappointed in this. So far, I haven't actually found a setting spray that is a dewy type setting spray that works for me. So I'm hoping that maybe 2019 is the year, like once I work through some of my other setting sprays, that I will be able to find that. As I'm aging, my skin is getting a little bit drier, and no matter how much moisturizer I'm putting on, I'm still getting a little bit of dry patches and that flakiness when my foundation starts to set down. So I'm hoping to get something that is a little bit more moisturizing. If you have recommendations, please let me know. I tried the peach one as well, and it did the same as this. Not to get on Cover FX's case, but I also had to include the Cover FX glitter bombs. And again, this is a case of, for what it is intended for, I don't like it. This is the actual like liquid glitter bomb. So it is a dropper, you put it on, and I used this on my eyes in the video on the BoxyCharm I got this for, and like, it's pretty. It's pretty on the eyes, but that's not what it's intended for. And if you try and put it on your face as a highlight or into your foundation, it is literally just straight glitter. And unless you want to look like an Oompa Loompa dipped in gold, like, I don't really agree with products like this. They're not for me. I don't know if it's a me thing. I don't know what it is, but this was a really disappointing product to get. I really wish that the glitter had been a little bit more fine, so that when you went to use it on your face, it actually looked like a highlight instead of like you took a glitter actual pen highlighter and was like, ching. I feel like I'm really ragging on highlight, and it's not intentional. This was another product that I can't actually remember if I got it from BoxyCharm or if I got it from Gen Beauty in New York, but this is the Laritzi Cosmetics Fuel Dew Pot. It's a pot illuminator. So it's kind of strange, and I'm going to try and do this without, unsuccessful, without digging my nail in. It didn't work. This is something I wanted to like because it does swatch kind of nicely. Can you even see it? No, apparently not. So it's right there. but it's very, very difficult to get this to blend into your skin, again, without ending up with the stripe or just wiping your foundation off entirely. It's also like a dual chrome pink orange and not exactly my favorite. I also don't really like pot highlighters like this. You have to dig your finger into them. You could also use a sponge, and then again, I end up with like just sponge marks of whatever the highlight is. Like, I feel like I've given a lot of these products their due diligence in trying it over different products, trying it with different tools, different application methods, and they just still don't work. So this was really disappointing, and I will probably be decluttering it. And yet another highlight, and I'm so sad about this. This is the Farsali Jelly Beam, and it's actually going to be going back to Sephora today. Which is why it's back in its box. But it looks like this, and it is a like gelatin, I hope you like my fingerprints, gelatin type, like, look at that. It's a gelatin type highlight. This swatches so beautifully. Like, you just have to touch it, and after I swatched it and I got it and I put it on my bare skin, I was like, oh my god, I love it. It's so pretty, it swatches so beautifully. Like, this one you can really see. And it blends beautifully, and it's got just like a nice, beautiful sheen. Like, all that highlight there is the Jelly Beam. It will not blend into my skin over other makeup. It has to go back. I've used it 5 or 6 times. Same thing as that Laritzi cream pot highlight. I end up with sponge marks. I end up with just like the streak of where I put it. If I put it with a brush, if I try and put it on with my fingers, it just pulls my foundation off. So I'm thinking that maybe jelly and cream highlights aren't for me, that it's just not meant to be. But I'm so sad because it was on sale and it was so nice. And if I could just like walk around with the swatch to look like this, I would be so much happier. That's the one that like truly got my soul in my sadness. Okay, so there are 2 eye primers I tried this year outside of the regular Urban Decay Primer Potion that I've always used that I was really disappointed in. The first one is the Milani Eyeshadow Primer. I've actually talked about this before. This did not hold my makeup on, it did not stop it from creasing, and it didn't even make the color stand out. I'm actually gonna throw this away. I'm not even gonna give it to anybody. Like, what? And for like 10 bucks, for what? My second eye primer I tried this year that I was pretty disappointed with was the Morphe Eyelid Primer. I had high hopes for this for some reason. I know I shouldn't, because it's Morphe and like, they're not here for us. They're just not. They're acting like they are, but they're here for influencers, in my opinion. There's really nothing to write home to mom about this. I've considered returning it, but I do want to try it out a little bit more if I can get my eyelids to be more hydrating. When I was trying this out and testing this out, I was having a really hard time with my eyeshadow creasing no matter what I was using. So I'm kind of wondering if I should give it another shot, but it makes me nervous because it was so bad the first time that even using an eye cream and an extra moisturizer, it will do the same thing. So I definitely don't recommend this and was super disappointed. So I have 3 disappointing lip products to talk about, and one of them I just don't know like what even in the fuck. It's this Mood Matcher Fran Wilson. It is a green crayon that goes up kind of like a weird, it reminds me of a dog's penis. I can't even lie. I don't know why that switch just popped in my head, but that's exactly what it looks like. A sick one anyway. So the idea of this is kind of like Lipstick Queen. You put it on and it is green, and then it just kind of morphs into your lip color or into your mood or whatever you want to call it. So that's what it looks like when it goes on. So you're like, okay, cool. No big deal. That's kind of fun. It's just like a nice lip balm, no problem. I'm gonna put this aside for a second and move on to the next product. So my next one I wanted to talk about, and I was super disappointed because Maybelline does the best lipsticks in the world, and this is the lipstick from them in their powder matte formula in the shade Concrete Jungle. It is a gray purple, which is really up my alley. I'm actually going to swatch with on my other hand so you can see. My experience with Maybelline lipsticks has always been very, very good. And this one is just a patchy piece of trash. I was so disappointed. It was such a unique color. Even when you go over it 3 or 4 times, it like piles up on its own pigment and just ends up looking splotchy and disgusting. I was only ever able to make it work nicely once, and I will insert the picture where I was able to do that here. I did really like it when it was on and I actually got it to work, but after that it never worked again. It was like only the first layer or so was any good, so I'm actually gonna probably declutter this because I don't see myself working all the way through a lipstick that is that patchy. The next product is a Steve Laurent lip gloss in this really dark ass shade in Eggplant. So I don't like lip glosses as it is, with the exception of the Fenty Universal Gloss Bomb. And reason being is because they get everywhere, they are sticky, and that's annoying to me. I don't like when any product is work. So this is the shade of this lip gloss. It is so sticky, and can I tell you that it feathers? It like clumps up on your lips. It doesn't go on smoothly. Like that's just one swatch and you see how patchy it is, like how thick it is on one side. And I understand that you would like put it on and like move around the extra parts, but even when I was doing that, it wasn't actually going on smoothly. It just kept leaving another line. Not to mention with the bleed, and then if you like got your hair caught in it, it would like, and then you would move your hair out of it, it would drag it up onto your face. So I ended up with these little like slices of weird eggplant colored gross lip gloss everywhere. Not cute, not for me. So I did 2 swatches on different sides of my hands for this. Now we're revisiting this mood matcher bullshit. And this is the first swatch I did, and then I just let it sit. This is the second swatch I did. And as I was talking and moving around, my body was warming up. It goes so bright. And this one, if you look closely at it, I don't know if it will pick up on screen, but there is a big streak of green in the middle of it. It's too unpredictable. I don't want to look like I have green or weird yellowy jaundice pinkish lips. It's a gross color. The other thing I don't like about this is it stains so badly, like so badly. I gave it to my friend as a joke and I was like, hey, put this on, it's green lipstick, ha ha ha, knowing it would stain her lips because I'm a jerk. And because she had been working and helping me clean her house, she had put it on, and because she got so hot, that's what activates the color change in it. It was like fuchsia, and then she couldn't get it off for 2 days. She had this like bright fuchsia lips. It was so bad. I felt so bad, and I did not intend for that to happen. So I'm going to take all of these lip swatches off on camera. So this is with micellar water, and that's the light swatch, and it's still there. And now the dark swatch. Actually, the dark swatch wasn't on my hand as long, so it actually did scrub off. But like, I'm scrubbing. Why do I have to scrub? I don't want to scrub. Scrub, 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 scrub. Are on the last product before we move into eyeshadow palettes, and that is the Butter London Stroke of Wow Roll-On Eyeliner. This was the weirdest. This was probably the weirdest product of 2018. So this came in BoxyCharm as well, and I'm going to just shake it up, and it is basically a pizza roller for an eyeliner. So it's such a thin line, and it's not like impossible to work with, but you really have to concentrate on it. And if you like shake or move, it is so wet as an eyeliner as well, which I don't love. I don't like gel or dry or matte. I like somewhere in between gel and water. It's like really hard for me to describe. I don't want it to drip, and I feel like if I turn this upside down, it would drip out of the container. The application is not easy. There's no way to easily do a flick with this because there's no brush and it is a pizza cutter. I can work with a lot of eyeliners, and this just a holy F no. Okay, we are getting into the worst eyeshadow palettes of the year, and there's honestly, this year was a pretty good year for palettes. There wasn't anything that I really saw and was like, oh my god, I can't make this work. This is the worst thing ever. So I I'm going to go through these, and it's really just a, how many do I have here? 5. There's 5 palettes I was really disappointed in and could have really done better. So the first one is the Maybelline Lemonade Craze. I appreciate what Maybelline is trying to do in bringing the drugstore market into some of the less common shades, kind of move away from the neutrals. But when I see this, and then I see things like the CoverGirl Jewel Tones and the new True Naked lines where they have like a chocolate bar, a sweet peach, a Brights palette, and then I see this, and the CoverGirl is so good, and this ends up so powdery and patchy. Like, it looks like it will swatch nicely, but it really doesn't. It just kind of was disappointing to me. There's really not a lot to it. Can you make it work? Yeah, you can. If I remember, the sugar-coated shade in here was actually quite nice, which is this one. But for the price point at the drugstore, especially in Canada, so that right there is sugar-coated. For the price point in Canada, it's really not worth it. This is close to 20 bucks, and you can order a Morphe palette now for 25 bucks, which I know not everybody likes Morphe, but it is better than this, $5 more, and you get way, way more. Another BoxyCharm selection, unfortunately, and this is something I was just disappointed in general. This is the Laura Lee Party Animal palette. Looks like this. Again, I appreciate what they were trying to do and what she was trying to do. Laura Lee got herself in some hot water this year. This has nothing to do with that. Everything seemed super, super powdery. It wants to be brights, but like they're patchy and not even. I only liked the pink because it was kind of different, and it's the only one that was like somewhat nice. The pink actually has like pink and then a shift of gold glitter. The orange was okay as well, but they are so, so chalky, and the orange looks like it's going to be really bright, but it's really not. So this was pretty disappointing. I'm glad I haven't invested in any of her makeup, and I likely won't be. I have a video idea coming up of products and things that have happened in 2018 that really disappointed me. And not like the product disappointed me because it was bad, just how it was handled, packaged, how businesses launched, and like one of the things on that, and that's why I'm going down this road, is how in her Cutie Patootie palette, one of the shades fell out for multiple people on YouTube, and I just feel like it was never really addressed or handled very well that I saw. So that video is upcoming as well. All right, so these 2 palettes I'm kind of on the fence about. I had put, this is the Sweet Dreams by Model's Own. It looks like this. I really wanted to like it. I really did. When I saw them at Winners, I never really get access to Model's Own in Canada, so I was really ready to try this out and really like it. The shades are very chalky, and they don't at all do what you think they would. So I was playing around with these when I was trying to decide if I was going to put them in the video or not. And I did end up pulling one out, the Full Moon one. I did end up saying like it was okay, it's actually workable. I don't find that this is workable at all, save for this shade here, which is called Toffee. And if you look at it, it feels wonderful and it looks wonderful. But then we move on to these, and they're, again, we're just getting into that like patchy yuckiness where it just doesn't suit my needs as a YouTuber. I also have a bit of an issue lately with shadows that when you swatch them and then you blow on them, they like blow away. I'm such an ass. There's a whole bunch of products that's not even in this basket that I need to talk about and I totally forgot about, so we're gonna get there too. This is stuff I've already returned. So this is another Model's Own palette. This is the PM kit. So the idea here is you would be able to take this out with you somewhere and go out for a night on the town. These shades are completely devoid of pigment. This here, I tried to put it in my crease. It completely didn't show up. The blue here is okay, and then the rest of them are just patchy and chalky. It was really disappointing. And then this blush is so pigmented, you can't really put it on your face without ending up with like a huge crazy streak. And the last physical palette I have here with me, and I'm sad to say that this was disappointing for me because this was actually my first Ofra palette I have ever had. When I went to Generation Beauty in October, I was actually able to pick up some Ofra stuff, and I had never really had anything from them before. So I picked up this Free Spirit palette. And the face products, like this here, is wonderful. They're very, very nice. I don't regret it at all. But the shadows are so disappointing. They are truly just like... I tried to do a look with the purples and with the blues, and I swear to God, I just poked myself in the face, first of all. I feel like the swatches make me look like a liar, but I swear to God, they were the worst. They were so disappointing, and they basically just like blended away, kind of like that. So all I did was just lightly run my finger over them. So as I was trying to do the purple look, I would put on the purple, and as I would blend, it would blend away, and I would put on more and be like, okay, we're good, we're good. And then as I got done blending, it would be gone again. So this was really frustrating and really disappointing. I also feel like the packaging is a little bit bulky, and I don't really like that this thing that it's set into is basically just a piece of foam. I understand you can pull them out and put them in a different palette, which I probably will. I'll take out the face products and just get rid of the shadows. But for something that I believe was like $75 American, why is there a piece of foam in here? Like, can you at least invest in some fucking cardboard? Okay, so we are going to move on to the products that I don't physically have with me, so I will have to put a picture up at the top here. So the first one is the Sephora Pro Editorial 2. So I have all of the original Sephora Pro palettes. I like them all. I found I had some successes in looks with all of them. The Pro Editorial 2 was so bad, it was laughable. I was swatching it on my friend, and she was like, I thought you were swatching it. And I'm like, I am. It's literally not going onto her skin. And then I was in, there's I believe a row of like sparkly duochrome. I'll point to them up in the photo. And I swatched that and I put it on her hand. She's like, oh, that was really pretty. And then I was like, oh, but watch. And I blew it, and it literally blew the whole shadow away. There was nothing. I blew it. That's what she said. There was nothing left on her hand. I was like, what is going on right now? What was the point of even like, I can't. And I ended up actually returning it. Another one that I did purchase and return was the Sephora Midnight Wishes. I truthfully don't know what I was thinking. I have never ordered something like that and had it work out. If you were just getting into makeup, it wasn't horrible. It was truly like just a very subtle wash of color. And when you have only a subtle wash of color, it is kind of, doesn't really matter if it blends or not. So the blendability wasn't great. It was just very blah for me, so I ended up returning that as well. This one is probably going to be an unpopular opinion because I have seen a lot of people speak highly about these. This is the Sequins by Marc Jacobs, and I bought the shade, I believe it was Amethyst, the purple one, and it was so, so bad. When I put that on my eye, it was like little random chunks of patchy purple glitter that as I blinked, I was watching it fall through my lashes and onto my face. That is not acceptable to me for a $45 little pocket of shit. So that also went back. Hourglass has a similar product, and that's what actually made me buy the Marc Jacobs one, is because I do like the Hourglass ones. And that is this here. This is the Scattered Light Glitter Shadow. And it looks like this. These are beautiful. So I just assumed that Marc Jacobs would be like coming to play. Apparently they were coming to lose. I don't think I can truly do this video without speaking about the Kat Von D Fetish Face Palette. I did a review on that palette. It was very interesting to see the comments come in on that because it was right around the time that Kat Von D did some sketchy shit. And I'm not defending her. You guys can think what you want. I'm not touching on that at all, but it ended up getting like 50,000 views, which was crazy for me. I think it's my most viewed ever. And it was so bad. I was so disappointed. I really loved the colors of the blushes, but the color didn't translate on my skin. The highlights were so gritty and they were so glittery. I just couldn't make them work. And I would honestly say that's probably my truly most disappointing product of the year was to actually have some innovative blush colors come out and then them not work for me. I was so sad. And for, I believe at the time, the price point was like $50 Canadian. It just wasn't worth it. I know it's on sale now, so if you are interested in seeing it or in seeing that video, I will link it down below, but I'm really truly disappointed. And I wanted that one to work for me. Out of all these products, I really wanted that one to like blow my socks off. And it did, in a bad way. Like when you're on Reddit and you watch the gifs of people dying and you only know they died because their shoes fell off. It made my shoes fall off because I died inside. And last but not least, the last product I have that I really didn't like this year is another product from BoxyCharm, and I have no idea what happened to it. I must have burned it at the stake, and it is the Jante Blue glitter liner that came, I believe, in November or October. It was a navy blue, actually, sorry, the packaging was navy blue and the liner was black with gold glitter, and it was so bad and so scratchy on the eye. I never want to see that thing again. It didn't even like actually draw a black line on you. Even when I used it on my hand, it was like painful on my hand. So if it's painful on my hand, imagine how it would feel on your very sensitive eyes. Anyway, guys, please let me know what your most horrible products were that you tried this year. And if there's anything I mentioned in this video that you know a better way to make work for me, please let me know. I'm really happy to hear it. If you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe before you go. And if you are still here at the very end of this very long video, please leave me a thumbs up emoji.